I keep thinking, like, did this really happen? This really happened. So it's exciting. I get to kind of go through again every day because it's just still, it's hard to believe that it's happening, that I spoke to James Patterson, that we're going to write the book together.
At what point did you kind of get the feeling that this just might happen? You know, that it was really starting to become a possibility?
I don't know. When I saw the competition, I saw the advertisement for the competition on the masterclass page, and I thought, like, I really want to do that. You know, it was like the crazy part of me said, maybe there's like a little bit of a chance. Maybe if I think of the coolest idea I can, we can get in there. But if, you know, the other 95% said that's crazy. But I listened to the wild one, and I decided I'm going to give this a shot. What can it hurt? And it was really cool because it was a challenge. I mean, it made me, I was taking this class for fun, but it made me come up with an idea. It made me come up with a synopsis, a sample chapter. You know, the other option would have been I would have taken the class, thought that's cool, and maybe one day would have gotten around to that. But the competition was a way for me to challenge myself, to decide I was going to do this, and I went with it. But no, I'm not sure that the rational part of me really thought that there was a possibility.
In a different way.
It's been fabulous because now, instead of, you know, I always try to use some fiction techniques in my journalism, whether that's, you know, looking for things in a room that can explain a person's personality. I try to do that. I try to be artful in what we do every single day, and still, you know, stay true to what's true. So writing fiction was great because when you're looking for something to illustrate a person's personality, you just put it there. You know, you can just put it right in. So in some ways, being a journalist really trained me to be so overly careful, to write tightly, which is great muscle to have to be able to do that. And then fiction just opened it right up. I mean, and the master class is wonderful because he talks about things that I think we could even use in journalism, you know, about drama being conflict between the characters. And real life people who were covering what's interesting is the conflict, you know. So yes, it's different in that you can't obviously add things to a newspaper story that aren't true. But in the fiction, you have the freedom to do whatever you want to, and it's really cool to be able to practice all those things that you're always looking for in real life when you're...
One of the hallmarks of a James Patterson story is pace. It's always fast. Click, 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 click. Are you going to be able to have Kecia's voice in this story? Do you have a sense of that yet? Is it going to be, well, I'm writing a book with James Patterson, so it's going to sound just like he wrote every word of it? How do you feel about that?
Well, it's exciting either way you look at it. I mean, I want to have that pace, and I think that's hopefully part of the reason I got in here was because I was able to kind of follow in his style in a sense. But it still was, you know, it was an idea totally from my side. I came up with it. I got feedback from him, which was really neat. During the contest, the last phase of it, he agreed to give feedback to the 3 finalists. So we got a page of feedback, and it was really thoughtful, detailed stuff.
So you've spoken with Patterson and his team. What was that like? Was that intimidating? Was it?
Oh yes, it was. I was incredibly nervous to get to talk to him, but he's and you can tell this from the masterclass too. He's very kind. He's a tough editor. You can tell he is, but he's trying to help you. And that comes through. And that came through in the feedback that I got from him on the outlines that we submitted. It was all very thoughtful, in-depth stuff. You know, he was giving really constructive feedback. And the changes that I implemented, I felt like it gave it a whole new tone that was way better and had way more feeling, you know. So what I've seen so far, collaborating with him from implementing that during the contest was really neat to see. And it wasn't something that totally changed the style or the sense of it. It made things better. So I do think, at least from what I've seen in that step, that I'll get to use my ideas and do a lot of the writing and implement his thoughts and changes. Wow, it's been a wild ride. I always loved stories, whether that was written, whether it was pictures when I was little. I mean, I'm a military kid, so we moved all over the place. I was always the new kid. You know, I wasn't the most popular kid. I had a lot of time for solitude. I remember being in rooms with boxes all around me and pretending that I was in the cargo bay of a ship. Seriously, like I vividly remember doing that. When we lived in Iceland, there were huge boulders outside, and those in my mind, it was all parts of a house, and we'd do Nancy Drew. You know, we'd be writing these stories as we went. So I enjoyed writing as a young person. It wasn't until I was at Pitt Johnstown that I realized I wanted to be a reporter. I had an advisor, Dr. Grimes, who said, "You're all over the place. I've been in college 3 years, international business and French, you know." She said, "I'm signing you up for a reporting class." And that was kind of it. I did it, and we were at the Richland Township Supervisors Board meeting on night 1. No preparation, just go and write a story. So I just loved it. I liked telling other people's stories, and that's what I've done for 10, 11 years. You know, I haven't gone back to that, should I be writing fiction that night? I mean, I got into journalism, and I loved it.
And talking as much as you can about this, you're preparing for a national television broadcast you're going to be a part of. We can't go much further than that, probably. How do you get ready for that? How do you kind of say, all right, I'm doing this, and this is where we are, all of a sudden?
Yeah, I can't. I don't know if there's a way to be really ready for it. I mean, I can try. What encourages me is that I think they're looking for someone who's genuinely excited, and they're not expecting someone who's polished. I haven't done this before, and with the masterclass competition, the whole idea was to help someone who isn't practiced and isn't polished and hasn't published dozens of books already. So I keep telling myself it's okay if I'm not perfect. You know, I'm just trying to be genuine. I mean, they've told me that there were thousands of applicants, which is pretty cool to hear. And it's funny because once they announced the top 10, we all started finding each other on Facebook. And they're all cool people with cool book ideas. You know, a lot of them have done this on some level or self-published. And I think they're people I will be talking to from now on. I mean, and they've all been really gracious and all reached out to me. Most of them reached out to me after the announcement. So congratulations.
Yeah.
So it's been a cool process just in meeting new people, connecting with other people who have this as their dream.
That's kind of a neat aspect of it. It's the modern way to do things.
Yes.
All of a sudden we're on Facebook.
Now we're pals. Yeah, I have all these cool friends who, I mean, just all kinds of different niches and thrillers, sci-fi, young adult sci-fi, very cool people, crazy ideas, and I'm super excited to get to know them more.
What's your family's reaction been? You're a semifinalist, you're a finalist, suddenly you win this competition, you have 2 young boys.
Yeah.
You know, your son's mom, your parents' daughter, you're going to be famous. What's their reaction to all this stuff?
Oh, they're so excited for me. I mean, I have wonderful, supportive family, friends, co-workers. I just really appreciate. It's almost been overwhelming. You know, I can't. Everybody's calling me, and I'm just thrilled. I could, you know, go through the story again and again, and they're precious, and they've been with me. You know, from the moment I told them I want to enter this competition, they've said, like, "You've got this, totally. You totally got this," which is cute and funny. And they're thrilled for me. And the boys, I told them that I was entering this competition, and they've been excited for me. The day that they were supposed to announce it, Aiden was calling me from school. I assumed he was sick when I saw the school number, like he never calls me. But it was Aiden saying, "Hey, did you hear anything yet?" And when I picked him up from Boys and Girls Club, he'd been checking the computer the whole day. Like, they were super excited for me and really sweet. They've been supportive, so I've my whole extended family.
How far down your personal road can you see at this point? I mean, what's ahead for you on this journey? Do you have any sense beyond the immediate news that you've just gotten this week?
Well, I mean, like we said, it is still sinking in. I don't know. I can't believe that I got this opportunity, really, truly. I want to take advantage of it as much as I can. I want to learn as much as I can. I mean, to be in a relationship where I can learn from James Patterson one-on-one, it's just an incredible opportunity. You know, I can't think of anybody who would be better. If you're into commercial fiction, you know, this is the guy. This is who you want to learn from. And all of a sudden I'm in this position to learn directly from him. So I'm going to put everything I have into it. I want it to be the best I possibly could have it be. And if there are more opportunities there in commercial fiction, yes, you know, I'd be interested in taking them. I'd want to check it out. I also know how many people want to be writers as, you know, their day job, and how many people are doing other jobs as their day jobs and write at night. And I've been lucky enough to write during the day for 10 years. So I feel blessed already. This is like an incredible bonus. And yes, I want to see where it leads. But I'm still kind of waiting to see what that looks like.